Hello everyone, it's spoiler day. If you just are watching this to get to the spoilers or my thoughts on Star Trek Into Darkness, click this little thing here and it'll take you to the point of in the video that I start this. If you're wondering about how my life's going, yeah, it's going really well today. Except for the fact that I almost missed an appointment today because they didn't call me beforehand because apparently my number got switched in their system. So yeah, I was getting droned into Star Trek, doing the Romulan thing, and then I got into the other, and then I had to go to the appointment for 45 minutes, then I went shopping with Alyssa, and then we were shopping for a while because she was in the wheelie cart again, and it's really slow, and then we got home, and we talked for a bit more, and now it's like 5:10, and I'm finally home. So, down into Star Trek Into Darkness. So, how do I take the fact that he's Khan? I don't care. I'm not advocating for any sort of wild, haranguing bullcrap. He's Khan. So what? The fact that he's a Section 31 agent made me go right in the middle of the theater. Well, oh my god, he's an agent of Section 31. Freaking Aaron was just like... I could hear him like trying not to swallow everything. The fact that the Enterprise almost got destroyed and caught itself the last minute inside the cloud cover, yeah, it was pretty cool. And I'm so glad that it was the Enterprise E lookalike. I mean, the Vengeance, that is the one that crashed into it, but it's also really nice that it was, you know. Also, when Kirk died in place of Spock for Wrath of Khan, you know, the whole thing was nice and mixed up. You can definitely be like, hey, 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 and you could do that, but it's not, you know, it definitely was its own thing, and it didn't, like, Wrath of Khan pretty much stopped when they did Spock's funeral and shot him in a torpedo towards Genesis. That's that. They pretty much, yeah, it pretty much ended. It, like, phew, sunlight. Whereas this one had, like, a whole, what seemed to be another half an hour of stuff beyond that. The shout out to Tribbles. Tribbles! Bones, what are you doing with that Tribble? It's dead, Jim. You know, was there cliche stuff all over the place? I liked it. Why? Because it was a different little spin on, technically a classic, which is what it should be. It's an alternate universe. Things don't work the same. Because it was Marcus that went out, or it was some other ship that went out and found the Botany Bay. Because technically this timeline was going according to plan up until Nero came back, and that was only 30 years prior, you know, 20 years before the original, you know, the first movie, the 2009 film. So the stuff that happened in the 90s is still in existence. I mean, Zefram Cochrane still did his thing. All that happy jazz. So, why the Temporal Prime Directive, or Temporal Prime Directive still was in place, but why the Temporal Police from the USS Relativity that we saw in Voyager have not gone back and fixed, I don't know. If they did this to Khan, they can do a lot of things with a lot of their people, but most of the haters are going to just shout down and be like, man, you're just copying more stuff. Whatever. Maybe this next time we instead of you know needing to go get whales, we somehow come across the planet where the probe for the whales came from. Hell, I don't know. Was that Praxis when they shot down there? I don't know if that was Praxis. I wouldn't know. I mean, technically it was a dilithium mining colony on one of the moons of Kronos. And they overmined the crap out of it and exploded. That's what happened to Praxis. And that happened in Star Trek 6. So they go, you know, they're flying to Kronos on a merchant ship, Mud. It's Mud, one of Mud's ships. Didn't state it, but they could. But there looked like to be a moon that was falling apart. Well, that's what it looks like in Star Trek Online. There's a moon falling apart. Is it Praxis? Probably. So we have Khan, we have Tribbles, we have Praxis, we have Mud, we have lots of references. I swear to God, he was with two Caitians. Had tails like cats. You know? Did Kirk get what he deserves? Yeah. Was he willing to go down to save the ship? Yeah. Did it look like Khan was going to eventually be a good guy and they're going to twist it to a weird way that we wound up, Khan wound up getting his ship and like being a member of Starfleet? Yeah. It probably wouldn't have happened that way because the timeline didn't necessarily affect Khan that much. I grant you that Kirk didn't find him and then wound up betraying him on SETI Alpha 5, but that's what happens, when it being that Starfleet betrayed him at a core. And it was Section 31. So at least we know Section 31 exists. And the whole nude shot with Carol Marcus, whatever. This is going to take a whole different spin because technically, we never saw the meeting of Carol Marcus, or if we did, because I never saw the original series that much. So Carol Marcus, okay. I know she was from Star Trek 2. She was the older lady that worked on the Genesis project, except she was a molecular biologist, not a weapons technician. So there's already a difference right there. Molecular biologist, and then her and Kirk had a son. Now she's like really young, and it's like everything's happening at a different time than it would have. So, yeah. I mean, David was supposed to be like 20. 18, he was played by someone that looked deadly older, but I think he was supposed to be in his teens or early 20s. But anyways, that's my thoughts on it. If you have any thoughts, I'll put a little note up at the top saying comments are spoiler-tastic.